Hello and welcome back to another episode of Farming Life at La Forge. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Farming Life at La Forge. So as Dad said last time, he now has the TL90 in the workshop. So he is going to show you around and basically explain what he has done to that. After that, myself and Dad have made signs this week. So we made signs for the top of the road. Dad did the metal work and I did the woodwork. So Dad cut out a tractor and a bull and put them into two big rings in steel, and then I made a sign written La Forge, which I'll show you how I did that real quick. So yeah, and then we'll show you them at the head of the road all up and ready. And of course, as mentioned last time as well, on this week's episode we are going to start the machinery tour. So it's a bit too much to put into one episode, so we're going to do it bit by bit. We have been going through each tractor individually, but we will get a tractor. We'll have them all shown in one and go through them quite briefly and show you them running a bit. But that is hopefully next week's video, if I can get all the tractors cleaned out on time. I'm videoing it as I go along, so I'll be able to show you guys each tractor. But for today's episode, it's going to be some of the machinery. So this is some of the machinery that Dad has filmed, gone around and talked about in one of the sheds over on the second farm. So that's what's going to be on this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoy it.
So, we're at the TL. We have the bottom ripped out. It's only an eye leak. I had to take off the pickup hitch to do it. Here's the bottom. It's these two seals here. Not a big job, but you have a lot of rip in the guard. So I have to put them two seals in and put it back up. I'm servicing it now as well. So I have to drain all the air over it. So I had these two hubs off last night and I put new seals on them. One of them was leaking. We also put another isolated switch on this. Wouldn't mind to have it a while, and I'll show you there. We put this diesel lift pump on it. Just always leaking, a little drop of oil. So hopefully that'll stop the air leaks on it. And yeah, that's it. We did the seal on that one as well last night. So we have all the filters in, complete set of filters, and all new oil. We put new oil in the hubs. The axle was okay, it was changed last year. And that's about it, the diesel filter. So it just has to be, Laura has to wash them all now and clean them out because we're into hay season, silage season. I thought I'd get to spray it black, might yet, but we got rain now the last few days and the grass is growing like a rocket, so we mightn't get time because I have other things to get ready. So I think that's it on the TL.
So today I'm in the workshop. I am doing a sign for the front of the road. So if you've seen, sometimes when we go in the head of the road, there's two kind of wooden things that are a bit fallen down, a bit weathered now. So we're actually doing something new. So Dad has done we have these big circles made out of steel, and they're all kind of rusty. They look nice, and Dad cut out with the plasma shape of a bull, and now we have kind of a plank of wood that we're putting under it, and I'm going to carve in La Forge in an Irish font writing. So this here is a piece of wood we're using. So you can see the edge markings of the frame circle. So it's going to be quite a big sign. And then this is the writing. So it is the Irish font, but it's quite a simple one. You can get some that are a bit more. So first I need to sand it up. So I've gone about halfway sanding it. My belt sander isn't working. I forgot that when I took it out. So I used the vibrating sander, the big one. This is a Bosch one that Dad actually brought from Ireland. It's still going today. Every other sander seems to be going on me because I am sanding all the time. But yeah, normally I use the belt sander because I want to take off all the rough stuff, and the belt sander kind of just tears into it, so you want to get it off, but you don't want to do too much either. And then when you have a vibrator sander like the Bosch or this one which vibrates, that is more for a nice smoothing finish. But yeah, the Bosch is big and flat, so what I'm trying to do is, it's for outside, it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth, it's not a table or a chair or anything, but I do want to bring up the grain, because here you can't see the grain and it just looks dirty. It's also dark, and if I put black on that, it'll be harder to see than black on this. So the reason now I'm using the triangle sander rather than the big rectangular one is that it kind of gets in between the grain. So when you use the belt sander, it can tear into this grain, and the dark grain there, that's the harder stuff. The vibrating sander won't get through that, it's too hard. It is good on the soft stuff, but if I use the big flat one, it won't get in because when it dries down, the softer stuff will dry in. So if you put your hand over it, you'll feel the grooves of the harder wood. So with the triangle sander, I can kind of get in and slant it. So what this will do is it'll take it from rough wood like this and kind of smooth in the middle part, which helps weatherproof it a bit as well because the water will run off and it won't hold in all the grooves. And then it'll kind of clean up the centerpiece, and by doing that it'll bring out the grain of the harder wood and make it look kind of cleaner. If I had the belt sander, it would do a much nicer job. It would bring up all the grain. It would take out a few grooves that there is from when it was cut. And then the triangle sander is also very good for when you have boards like this, so the edges here is just the shape of the tree. Alright, so now the next thing I need to do is measure it all out. So it's basically a lot of math. Well, not a lot, but I need to calculate it all out. So first I need to take the side where I'm most restricted on the board, which would be the height of the letters, because it can go as long. So I need to kind of find what height I'm going to have them at, draw them 2 lines, measure it, and then I draw the 2 lines of the height here, and then from the measurements, when I draw all the other lines I need on this, I can then take them measurements, multiply them or divide them by whatever I need, and then bring them in onto the board, and then from there I can start drawing out the letters. So now I just need to figure out kind of where, because the board isn't square, it really just has to be done by eye for the first line, and then the second line I'll do it off the first line. I'm gonna try burning it first. So the last time you see me burning was like with this kind of like pen. So it was a soldering iron, and then I got a better one, which was an actual burner. but they weren't working, they weren't lasting, so I bought this on Amazon. It was actually quite cheap. And so you have 2 burners, and they're like that. They're a bit different way of burning, so I still have to get used to them. I'm not a fan of their stands, so I'm going to try and make a better stand, but for now they'll do. Yeah, so I'll show you guys. You just turn it on, and then you flip this to use whichever one, so you don't use both at the same time. But you will, this is the first one on, you will see this heat up in like a few seconds. So I can set the temperature. So this is the temperature it's at now. If I bring it up, and you can see it's already steaming hot. Although the edges will be easy to do, what I don't know if I can burn is the inside. So I'm trying it on the ore because this piece here has the most hard wood on it, and if it can burn through that, it'll burn through the soft wood as well. Fine between the two of them is that, one, because this is so much hotter, I need to learn not to push down on it. The last one, to get heat out of it, you have to push down on it, and this one, if I push down on it, I'll break it. So and yeah, go over it with a sander again, get off all the green lines, spruce it up a bit, varnish it, and the next time you see this, it should be at the front of the house, in its big ring with a bowl on top. So here is the sign. So I ended up putting a white line around it to make sure you could see it. And then there's the bowl that I cut out on a stand. So I just got back from the second farm, and he has the tractor cut out.
Going over for the sprayer and show you some machinery over there. The cows are out in the field. Lovely sunny day again. Going in now to the second farm. So here we are in second farm again. Some of our machinery here, I'll show you. I have to move it to get out the sprayer. That's our Hardy sprayer on the front tank. So that's our McHale wrapper that we use. Well, anyone that's watching the videos will know that we have a combi welder, Lily welder. Great machine, but we use this as well. Sometimes I'm able to pull that behind the Land Rover up to the other farm if I'm at jobs or whatever. And this baler here, it's a Gilligany That was on the farm when we bought it. Never gave that much bother. Simple old baler. We didn't sell it, so it's just kind of there on reserve, or if something breaks. I see there must be old birds up there. They have all destroyed the top of it. It was only a 2-year-old when we came here. That was in 2006. So that's a chariot auger, or a geese they call it over here. This shed normally is just for dumping in corn if weather is bad and you can't go to the co-op with. And over here then is our roar, or double roar, or an endener they call it over here. It's a hydraulic. It fits on the front. You can change this unit here. She switches from there to the back if you want to work it on the front of the tractor or the back. It's on the 3-point linkage, and it's a 6 to 7 meter. And well, we bought it brand new. It's an egg ramp. So no, it's grand. There's a flat wheel there now on it, but we did put that OK stuff in it, stops them getting punctures, these small wheels. Yeah, no, that worked well for us. The big trailer ones are good too, but just in small fields, they're not that handy. So hopefully you'll see this working in the summer, and we'll be taking it over here now shortly. It doesn't feel like it was too long ago since it was put into it. So that's just a few things parked in this shed here, and we've been back to wrapper as well. Didn't use it much last year, but we do use it. Now, as well as that, we have another wrapper as well. It's a Canervalant, but we're shared on that with the Kuma. But why I bought this one is the tillage farm that we have 30 kilometres away. Every time I brought the Kuma one up there, there was always one of the other lads looking for it, so you had to throw it the whole way back. So we got this then, and they're about maybe 3 years ago or 4. And just it works well as well. So okay. So this is another part of the other farm. That's the garage up there. This used to be a little hamlet, and it's all little different farms, but it was all bought up by the one owner years ago, and now it's just owned by the one. We farm it all. Now, a lot of the sheds are just fit for holding and backing in machinery. That's the big old house there, Emily and Laura in the middle of doing it up. The workshop, well, I have the key there now. There's a day's work in there to show you all the stuff that's in there. We'll be gathering up scrap here, and this is kind of good scrap, as I call it. We use bits of that, so when we nearly have all the scrap gathered up around here now. That's an international mowing bar. Everything is on it, 3 or 4 spare blades above it. And out here then we have some more machinery parked up. Now, that was an old tumbling cart that was up in one of the sheds. Even the brakes and all work on it. Imperfect, not rotten or anything. So this is our own line spotter. We have that. It was with the Kuma, and like some of the other things, if some of you is following, it was handed over to us. Works okay, it is old, but it does work. And it's all there, it's independent hydraulic pump on it. This is our power harrow. We only bought that there last year, or the year before, last year I think. We used to have a Kuhn one, we sold it a few years back. Kuhn are a good machine. So we bought this just for doing around headlands and that. Normally we use the balustrade. And that's our 10 metre 8-turner Kuhn. So they're all just backed in there roughly. These old sheds, we just clean them all out to make room for the... Once they're in and dry, they're okay. So that's our balustrade there, and this is our 24 metre sprayer, which I hate using. It's a nightmare to get on the tractor, and works okay and all, but to get onto the tractors you'd want 2 people, and then you nearly want to take the doors off the tractor, because if you forgot about it and let it down and the door was open, you break off the door. So I prefer the other one. I know some of our fields are kind of going to V's or triangles, and she's a bit clumsy for that, even though the half the booms you can do 12 or 24, they're telescopic booms. So we might sell that next year, even though there's not much demand for sprayers now. And that's it.
That's that for this week's episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.